So it's going to be a little bit triceps again and a little bit forearm and upper body, because with the forearm handstand, sorry, when you've just got the forearms on the mat, you're basically coming up and then you're sort of kicking up and seeing if you can stay in that position. So you've got to kind of have the strength in the upper body. Aha, we've got someone else. So you've got to have the strength in the upper body, also working that serratus anterior muscle and working the lats sort of towards the back of the body. And it's really important to have that shoulder stability. So we will work on a few exercises to help us with, you know, not just if you want to do forearm balances, but just it's really good for your upper body strength anyway in all kinds of yoga asanas. But we're going to do we'll do a couple of sun salutations before we get into those. But what we're going to do is we're going to come into child's pose, and you can bring your knees together or bring them out wide, whatever you want to do, and just bring yourself towards the mat. We're just going to come into the breath for a few moments, and I'll just keep an eye out in case anyone else joins us. So as you breathe in, just feel that space in the ribs. Maybe feel the ribs pressing against the thighs. And just feel that breath at the back of the body as well. So that towards the spine, the back of the rib basket. And don't worry how far you are into this pose. Just work with your own body. Someone else, just letting more people in. So we're just in child's pose for anyone that's just joined us. Feel that breath all the way out. Just being aware of any pains, any aches that you may be experiencing. So being kind to your body during this practice. On the next inhale, we're going to slowly walk the hands over towards the right side of the mat. You take hold of the left wrist with the right hand, and you can pull yourself deeper into that stretch down the left side body. And feel that breath all the way around. So feel it wrapping around that serratus anterior muscle, the lats, all the way towards the spine and the shoulders. You can draw that left buttock towards the heels if you want to go deeper into that stretch. And slowly bring yourself back to center. Let's take a couple of breaths here. Just notice how your body's feeling now compared to when we started. And we're going to slowly walk the hands over to the left. And you can take hold of that right wrist. And let's breathe into that right side body. Just be mindful of any difference on this side. Really feel that breath traveling all the way in, expanding that rib basket, drawing into the shoulders, Breathing all the way out. We're just slowly coming all the way back to center. Let's take about 3 breaths here. When you're ready, I want you just to lift the hips up and bring yourself into your puppy pose. So you can draw the arms away from the body and just sink into the shoulders, just opening the heart. This is a really strong stretch for the shoulders. You can come onto the chin, you can come onto the forehead. And we're going to slowly come up on the inhale. Just walk the hands towards the body. You come onto the heels, you can untuck the toes, that's absolutely fine. We're going to inhale as we bring the arms up, take the gaze up. And we're going to exhale to lower. And inhale to lift, exhale to lower. And just take 2 more. And just take a few shoulder rolls in both directions. Slowly bring yourself into your tabletop position. So hands spread out, knees below the hips, wrists below the shoulders. And we're going to take our cat-cow breath. So as you inhale, tilt the pelvis away from the belly, draw the belly towards the mat, all the way up towards the thoracic spine, bring the shoulders in towards each other, working your way up towards the neck, and the gaze comes up. As you exhale, tilt the pelvis towards the belly, start rounding the back, drawing the shoulders away from each other, gaze comes down. Just work through a few of these in your own breath. Just be mindful of any little pains. You can add any other little movements if you want to go side to side, if you want to do a figure of 8. And this is a really good exercise, especially when you're sitting down at the desk, where you kind of get that compression of the spine. So it's quite nice to bring this movement into it. Just take your time. And for those that have just joined us, I was saying to the others that I've been working on forearm balances, not that successfully, but essentially it's an inversion where you're balancing on the forearms and you're taking the gaze slightly ahead of you. And we're going to work through a few exercises to help build that upper body strength if you want to work towards those inversions, but also just generally good the body strength. So we will come on to those in a few moments. So just take about 3 more rounds of your cat-cow breaths. And we're going to come back to our neutral spine. We're going to take that right arm out parallel with the mat. We're going to take that left leg up as well. Try to square the hips if that's possible, if that's how your body is. Engage the core. You can bend that left knee. You can take hold of the left foot, with the right hand. And inhale as you lift and lengthen. And you can take the gaze over that right shoulder. And slowly release on the exhale. We're going to move over to the left side. So take that left arm out, parallel with the mat. Option to take that right leg up. Press that right foot away from the body. Option to bend that right knee. Take hold of the right foot in the left hand. If you press into the hand, it will help you get that lift. And slowly release on the exhale. Now just sit back on the heels for a few moments. We're just going to work into the wrist. So just take a few rotations of the wrist in both directions. And like we've done before, you can take your time with this movement. So you can come here in extension of the wrists. You can work towards the thumbs, coming all the way out. It's a little bit trickier to do both at the same time. And then you can just do it in both directions, so nice and slow. And what you're doing here is you are strengthening the forearm muscles as well. Just open and close a few times. And we're going to slowly come back to the mat. We're going to tuck the toes under, lift the hips up as we come into our downward facing dog. So just pedal the feet, bend the knees. Just be aware of any tightness in the hamstrings. We're going to inhale as we lift the heels, exhale to lower. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Just take 2 more in your own breath. And just notice the arms, notice the hands pressing into the mat. And just see if you can get that external rotation in the upper arms. We want space in the shoulders. And I want you to inhale as we lift that right leg in the air. Just hold it here for 3, 2, 1, and release. And we're going to move over to the left. See if you can keep that stability in the upper body as well, so you're not sinking into the upper body. Nice and stable. And release. And we're going to slowly walk the hands towards the feet. And just come into your ragdoll. Tuck my t-shirt a little bit. And just hang here. Swing it out. Shake the head, nod the head. And let's start bending into that right knee. Take the right hand to the mat. And we're going to inhale as we lift and lengthen that left arm. And just twisting over to the left. And see if you can draw the ribs over towards the left. So just a nice twist. Just take it as far as it suits your body. You can come onto the fingertips of that right hand. A different sensation. And let's exhale to release. Take the left hand to the mat. Let's bend into that left knee. And we're going to twist over to the other side. You can come onto the left fingertips. It's entirely up to you. And slowly release. And we're going to start walking back into our downward facing dog. We're going to take 3 lion's breaths here. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, take the gaze between the hands. Walk or step feet to hands. We're going to inhale as we lift up halfway. Exhale to fold. And just stay in this fold for a few breaths. You can have a go at inhaling as you lift the chest, straighten the arms. Exhale to release. It's your choice. Just do what you need. Just come to stillness. Bend the knees if you need to, if there's any tightness in the hamstrings or pain in the lower back. And as you inhale, we're going to start coming all the way up. Take the fingers towards the sky. You can come onto the tiptoes. And exhale to release. We're going to inhale to lift the arms up. Take hold of the right wrist and we're going to stretch it over towards the left. So we're trying to stretch the upper body here. And let's come back to center. Switch it. Take it over to the right. Come back to center. Take the arms up towards the sky. Take the gaze up. And I want you to exhale to release the arms. And just come into your mountain pose. You can bring the feet together. You can keep them apart. Lift the toes up. Spread them out as you bring them back to the mat. Nice and grounded, neutral spine. All the way up, shoulders away from the ears, arms by the side. We're going to inhale to rise. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale as we step back into plank pose. So let's hold it for a couple of breaths. And as you exhale, let's lower down through chaturanga. So elbows in towards the body. Inhale as we open the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. So do bend the knees here if you need to. Don't force the heels down if it's uncomfortable. Exhale as you gaze between the hands. We're going to step or walk feet to hands. Inhale as we lift up halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise through Hastasana. Gazing up. Exhale to release. Just take a few shoulder rolls here. Take a few breaths. So now we're going to work through a few exercises that are going to be focusing on the upper body, focusing on the forearms, the elbows, triceps, shoulder stability, just sort of these muscles around the back. So you've got serratus anterior, so that's this muscle here around the back and the side. And you've also got the lats as well. We're going to inhale to rise, exhale to fold. Inhale as we lift up halfway. Exhale as we step back with the right, step back with the left, coming into our plank pose. Okay, so from here, we're going to drop the knees, and I want you to come onto the forearms. So we're going to come into forearm plank. So you want the forearms to be shoulder distance apart, so you can check it by taking hold of opposite elbows and bringing the hands out. Now you can have the hands nice and flat, fingers spread out, pressing through the fingertips as well, gripping onto the mat. And we're going to inhale as we lift up into our forearm plank. So try not to stick the bum up, engage the core, get that nice strong alignment. You can stay here, or you can have a go at lifting that right leg in the air for about 3 or 4 breaths and releasing, and then taking it over to the left. You can drop the knees and come out of this at any time. So drawing the heels away from the body, pressing the hands and the arms into the mat. And we're going to hold it here for 3 more breaths. We're going to drop the knees and we're going to come back into child's pose. Just taking care of the forearms here. It's can be quite strong on the forearms. Now we're going to come back into forearm plank in a moment, and you've got a couple of options here. You can either do about 5 breaths on each side with the right leg lifted and the left leg lifted. And if you are doing the leg lift, try and keep the pose nice and honest. So don't sort of lift up like this. We're trying to keep that core and the body strong. So try to keep the hips a little bit in line if you can. You can do that, or if you want to take it a little bit further, you can inhale as you lift that leg up in the air. And as you exhale, you can bring that knee towards that arm. So you're almost tapping the elbow. I'm just showing you on the left. And release and down. So you can have a go at that. Whatever you do, we're going to be doing it for about 10 to 12 breaths. So let's take a couple more breaths in child's pose. And just come back into your forearm plank. and just take your version. So inhale to lift the leg, exhale to bend the knee towards that elbow and release. You can alternate wherever you want to do it. And when you've done about 10 or 12 breaths, or when you're comfortable, just come back into your child's pose. Just rest the arms, rest the shoulders for a few breaths. So you can just stay in child's pose for a little bit longer. We're going to move on to the next exercise. So just to tell you about it, we're going to come up into our forearm dog. So it's also known as dolphin dog. So it's basically going to be, you can start off on the knees, come onto the forearms, and you can lift the hips up coming into your forearm dog. So just having the forearms pressing into the mat. Now, you can stay here. Or actually, no, you know what we'll do instead? Sorry. I think it'll be easy if we come up into downward dog. And then from downward dog, we're going to lower the elbows towards the mat. Just let them hover and lift. Lower and lift. And what that's doing is working into the upper body. So it's working into the triceps. And try to keep the elbows nice distance. So sort of hug them a little bit towards each other so they don't kind of fail out and you don't sort of lose the upper body stability. And we don't want the shoulders in, so just keep those upper arms a little bit externally rotated so to create space. So when you're ready, just bring yourself into your downward facing dog. You'll take a few moments if you need to. And we're going to take 10 elbow lowers. You can do it in a 5 and we can stop and then you can do another 5. So let's start off. Lower and lift. Try to keep that down dog when you're lifting, so just check yourself. You can do 10 in one go, you can stop after 5, it's your choice. And just keep the gaze towards the navel. I've completely lost count how many I've done, but I'll just do 2 more. And when you're ready, just drop the knees and come back into child's pose. I'm just staying for a few breaths because this is quite a strong set of exercises we're doing. So these are just we're going to do one more exercise, and these are exercises that you can do in your own time, as long as you're safe. They will help you with, if you're working towards inversions, they'll also help you to create that upper body strength as well. So you can stay in child's pose for a little bit longer. The final exercise we're going to do in this series is going to be coming into our forearm dog. Now, when you come into a forearm dog, you can stay in forearm dog if you want. You can come out of these poses at any time, obviously. If you want to take it a little bit further, you can start to walk the feet. I'll just show you. So coming onto forearms, you can come onto the knees first, come onto the forearms and lift the hips up. So you can stay here in your traditional downward dog. And you can just keep the gaze towards the back, towards the navel area. If you want to try to work towards forearm balance, you can start walking the feet a little bit in towards the elbows and have a go at lifting the right leg up and holding. And you can have a go at lifting the left leg up and holding. If you're lifting the legs up, try to take the gaze in front of the hands, and then you can come onto your knees. So we're going to do that for about a minute. So take your choices. If you want to do it up against the wall, so your fingers are pointing towards the wall, you can have a go at actually bringing yourself up into your forearm headstand, but forearm stand, sorry. But I'll only do that if you're fairly confident. And just before you go there, another thing you can do, if you're doing it up against the wall, is you can use a block, and you can place the block down in front of you, bring the hands on either side of the block, and you can use the block to help grip and just to help to create that stability as well. So just take your variation, come into your version and just do try to keep that strength in the upper body, so not sinking into the anterior of the shoulders. So just do another 20 seconds or so. And when you're ready, we're just going to come back into child's pose for a few breaths. We're going to stay in child's pose, and we're just going to work through a couple of vinyasa flows as we start making our way towards the mat. So just try to keep those exercises in mind if you want to have a go in your own time. And it's hard to do them when you're on your own, I appreciate that. So you can, if you want, video yourself when you're doing some of these exercises, just to check your alignment. So when you're in your forearm dog and you're working your feet towards the elbows, maybe have a look at where your hips are, because ideally when you're working towards forearm balance, you want the hips to be above the shoulders. So just see how close you are. And then maybe you could then have a go at it up against the wall. If your hips are not anywhere near above the shoulders, then maybe you need to practice the other exercises a bit longer. If they're getting there, then have a go at jumping up. So let's take a couple more breaths in child's pose. And when you're ready, come back into your downward facing dog. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, take the gaze between the hands. We're going to step or walk, feet to hands. We're going to inhale, we lift up halfway. So just check your alignment here. We're going to exhale to fold. Inhale to rise through Hastasana. Exhale to release. Take a couple of breaths here. We're going to inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, come into your plank pose. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, we're going to lower it down. So elbows in towards the ribs. Inhale as you open the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to inhale that right leg in the air. So flex that foot, spread the toes. As you exhale, bend the right knee, bring the right foot beside the right hand. See if you can stay on the ball of that right foot. And we're going to inhale as we lift that right arm up, coming for a twist to the right. You can drop that right heel at any point. It's entirely up to you. We're just trying different movements here. We're going to exhale as we release that right hand to the mat. And we're going to inhale as we shoot that right leg all the way up into our three-legged dog. And I want you to inhale as you come forward into your three-legged plank. And slowly lower down through your three-legged chaturanga. Open the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 lion's breaths here. Remember to feel that breath in the back of the body as well, so we're not just sinking in with the chest. I want you to exhale as you gaze between the hands, step or walk, feet to hands. Inhale, we lift up halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise, gaze up. Exhale, come back down. Let's take a few breaths here. We're going to work through the other side, so just take a couple more breaths. Just check your footing, check your alignment. We're going to inhale to rise. Exhale, fold forward from the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step it into plank. Hands spread out nice and strong. Exhale as we lower down through chaturanga. We're going to inhale as we open the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to inhale that left leg in the air this time. We're going to flex that foot nice and strong. Exhale as you bend the left knee, bring the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Option to stay on the ball of that left foot. Twist it over to the left. Exhale, release that left hand, shoot back into your three-legged dog. And let's come forward into three-legged plank. So remember your alignment here. Bend the elbows, slowly drop that left foot, and come into your upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Let's take 3 lion's breaths here. Okay, one more inhale. Exhale as you gaze between the hands, step or walk, feet to hands. We're going to inhale as we lift up halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise. Float the arms up. Exhale to release. Let's take a few breaths here. We're going to do 2 more sun salutations. So just take 2 or 3 more breaths. Inhale to rise. Exhale, fold forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, we step back into downward plank pose. And we're going to slowly lower it down. So bend those elbows and come up for your upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to inhale as we lift that right leg in the air. Exhale, bring knee to nose. Hold it here. Inhale to lift. Just take it over to the right elbow. And lift. Let's take that right knee over to the left elbow. Have a twist. Open that right leg. Lift that left arm. Open the heart for a twist. Exhale to release. Shoot that right leg back. Option to stack right hip over left. Option to come into wild thing. If you're coming into wild thing, try to keep the hips lifted. Keep the heart nice and open so we're not falling into it. And when you're ready, we're all going to meet back in our downward facing dog. Let's take one more inhale. Exhale, take the gaze between the hands, step or walk, feet to hands. We're going to inhale, we lift up halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise, gaze up. Exhale to release. Take a few more breaths in. You can take a few shoulder rolls, any other little stretches. Inhale to rise. Exhale, let's fold forward from the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we step back into plank. So just check your alignment here, draw the heels away. Let's take a nice inhale, and as you exhale, lower it down. Don't go further than 90 degrees. Float the chest forward and come up, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale that left leg in the air this time. And bring knee to nose. And lift. Just bring the knee over to the left elbow. And lift. Just take it over to the right. You can open that left leg, shoot that right arm up for your twist. Keep that left shoulder nice and strong. Exhale to release, shoot it back, three-legged dog. Option to stack left hip over right. Option to drop it back into wild thing. And remember to keep that hips nice and strong in wild thing. And let's all meet back in downward facing dog. We're going to take 3 lion breaths here. Take one more inhale. Exhale as you gaze between the hands, step or walk, feet to hands. We're going to inhale as we lift up halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale to release. So just take a few breaths here. We've got about 5 minutes to go, because I know we started 2 or 3 minutes late. But we're just going to work through a little bit of standing, and we're going to slowly come towards the mat. So we're going to come into tree pose. So just start whichever side you're comfortable. Try to keep the hips in line if that's possible. And find a point of focus to help you balance. So I'm going to start with the right leg lifted. So press that stationary foot into the mat. And bring that other foot either above the knee or below the knee. You can even have the toes touching the ground if that's what works for you. Just bring the hands to heart center. And just release when you're ready. I'm going to slowly bring the hands back to heart center. And I want you to slowly release that foot from the thigh area. And just bring that right foot to rest on that left thigh and start bending into that left knee. I'm going to come into eagle arm. So I want that right arm to go over the left and just wrap that left arm underneath. And we're going to inhale as we lift and lengthen the elbows, drawing the shoulders away from each other. You can go a little deeper if you want. Keep that foot on the thigh flexed. And then we're going to inhale as we slowly come up and release the arms. So it's just a variation on eagle pose. We're just doing it with the eagle arms. Okay, so just take a few more moments. Any little stretches that you need, and we're going to work through the other side. So just mindful of time, about 4 minutes to go. So we're going to lift the other foot up. Just come into your tree. Remember, don't worry if you fall out of these poses. It's just a bit of fun. I'm going to slowly bring the hands back into heart center and just release that left foot, place it over the right thigh and start bending into that right knee and flex that left foot. So just keep it nice and strong. And we're going to come into eagle arms on the other side. So this time we're going to have the opposite direction. I can't remember which way we went the other time. And just draw the elbows up. We're just bringing that space into the shoulders. You can bend into that right knee. And when you're ready, slowly come up and release and just shake it out. We're going to bring the feet mat distance apart and start lowering down into your yogi squat. Just bring your bum onto the mat. And we're going to come into one quick forward fold before we come into our final Shavasana. So I want you to bring the feet together like so. Just open them out as much as it's comfortable. Nice safe gap between the groin and the heels. We're going to inhale as we lift and lengthen. Exhale as we hinge forward. So keep a neutral spine for just a couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, just let it all go. And when you've done about 5 or 6 breaths, I want you to slowly bring the knees in and just come into your final Shavasana. And we'll be here for about a minute or so. So just relax into it. Just surrender to the mat. We're just going to start deepening the breath. And just slowly start to wriggle the fingers and the toes. And just start rotating the ankles and the wrists in both directions. And when you're ready, just bring the legs together and just draw the knees into the chest. And just take any other little stretches and movements that you need. And let's slowly and safely come up to our comfortable cross-legged position. So just get there, however is safe for you. Keep the eyes closed and the face soft. I'm going to bring the hands to heart center, or you can let them rest on the knees. We're going to end with our 3 clearing breaths. And just slowly bringing the thumbs up to the third eye. I want to thank you for joining me on this journey. I want to thank you for working with me on new things and trying out some more creative sequences and exercises. And as always, I welcome any feedback and comments that you may have. The inner light in me will always honour the inner light in you. Thank you for today's practice. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, Shab.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Cheers.
Thank
Take
you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.